Have you ever wondered how a book written over 2 millennia ago could hold the keys to success in today's fast-paced, high-stakes world? We're diving into The Art of War by Sun Tzu, a legendary Chinese general and strategist from the 5th century BC. This isn't just a dusty old military manual, it's a timeless guide to strategy, deception, and understanding human nature. For centuries, its wisdom has shaped the decisions of military commanders, business moguls, political leaders, and even sports coaches. Today, we're zooming in on Chapter 7, Maneuvering, which focuses on strategic movement and decision-making under pressure. We'll unpack 4 pivotal lessons from this chapter and explore how they translate into modern arenas like business innovation, diplomatic negotiations, and geopolitical power plays. Buckle up, you're about to discover how ancient tactics can give you a razor-sharp edge in today's world. Friends, quick tip: to really absorb this video's lessons into your deep memory and turn them into action, watch the video at least 3 times. Repetition is key, and with more practice, you'll build the tools and strategies you need to succeed in your career, business, and development context. Lesson 1. Turn indirect paths into direct advantages through tactical maneuvering. Sun Tzu starts strong with this gem. The difficulty of tactical maneuvering consists in turning the devious into the direct, and misfortune into gain. In warfare, this means using clever, unexpected moves to transform challenges into victories. Picture Hannibal's crossing of the Alps in 218 BC, an absolute masterstroke. Facing brutal terrain, freezing weather, and constant threat of ambush, Hannibal marched his army, complete with war elephants, through the mountains to catch the Romans off guard. This roundabout route dodged their fortified defenses, letting him strike where they were vulnerable. The payoff? A string of wins that left Rome reeling. So how does this ancient playbook work today? In business, it's about sidestepping the competition with bold, creative moves. Why fight for scraps in a saturated market when you can redefine the game? Take Apple's iPhone launch in 2007. They didn't just tweak existing phones, they fused a phone, a music player, and an internet device into one sleek package. This indirect approach didn't just enter the mobile market, it rewrote the rules. Giants like Nokia and BlackBerry were busy refining their old models, but Apple's leap forward blindsided them, cementing its dominance in the smartphone revolution. In diplomacy, indirect paths can break deadlocks where direct talks fail. Henry Kissinger's shuttle diplomacy in the 1970s is a perfect example. Acting as a go-between for Israel, Egypt, and Syria, he navigated tensions that made face-to-face talks impossible. By hopping between capitals, he built trust step by step, paving the way for the Camp David Accords in 1978, a historic peace deal that reshaped the Middle East. Geopolitics thrives on this too. Think influence without gunfire. China's Belt and Road Initiative is a modern twist on indirect strategy. By pouring billions into roads, ports, and railways across Asia, Africa, and Europe, China's expanding its reach without firing a shot. It's economic leverage that creates allies and dependencies, boosting its global clout. Another example, Kissinger's secret 1971 trip to China. By exploiting the rift between China and the Soviet Union, the US tilted the Cold War balance, all without a single troop deployed. Lesson 2. Avoid long marches to prevent significant troop losses. Sun Tzu drops a warning. If you order your men to roll up their buff coats and make forced marches without halting day or night, only 1/10 of your army will reach its destination. Stretch a campaign too thin, and you're asking for disaster. Exhausted soldiers, empty supply lines, and crushing losses. Look at Napoleon's 1812 invasion of Russia. His Grande Armée started with 420,000 troops, but the endless march, brutal winter, and Russian scorched earth tactics shredded it. By the retreat, only 10,000 staggered back, a brutal lesson in overextension. Here's how this hits the modern world. In business, growing too fast without a solid plan can tank you. WeWork's wild expansion in the 2010s looked like a power move, leasing offices worldwide at breakneck speed, but without a profitable model, it bled cash. the company's valuation crashed from $47 billion to near zero, barely dodging bankruptcy. It's a stark reminder, overreach can sink even the flashiest ventures. Diplomacy isn't immune, dragging talks out can wear everyone down. The Iran nuclear deal, negotiated from 2013 to 2015, was a grueling slog. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, finally emerged, but the marathon strained resources and goodwill. When the US pulled out in 2018, it exposed how fragile long-drawn efforts can be. In geopolitics, endless conflicts are the ultimate long march. The Soviet Union's 1979 to 1989 Afghanistan occupation drained its treasury and morale, speeding its collapse. The US faced the same trap. 20 years in Afghanistan, $2 trillion spent, and a battered global image. Both show that stretching too far can break you. Lesson 3. Move swiftly and decisively like wind or thunder. Sun Tzu says, maneuvering with an army is advantageous, with an undisciplined multitude most dangerous. Strike fast and sharp, like wind or thunder, and you'll leave opponents scrambling. Speed ruled in World War II with Germany's Blitzkrieg, lightning war. Tanks, planes, and infantry hit in a rapid, coordinated storm, overwhelming foes before they could react. Let's see this in today's game. In business, swift moves grabbed the lead. Netflix's 2007 shift from DVDs to streaming was a lightning strike. Spotting the digital wave, they pivoted fast, locking in a first-mover edge that left Blockbuster in the dust and reshaped entertainment. Diplomacy demands speed in crises. Post 9/11, the US rallied a global coalition in weeks. This rapid unity fueled a swift strike in Afghanistan, showing how decisive action can turn chaos into advantage. Geopolitics leans on quick calls too. In the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, the US slapped a naval blockade on Cuba and negotiated hard and fast. That speed diffused a nuclear standoff with the Soviet Union, proving timing can be everything. Lesson 4. Avoid traps like pursuing feigned retreats or attacking spirited foes. Sun Tzu cautions against traps. Chasing a fake retreat or hitting a fired-up enemy is a rookie move. Read the room, or the battlefield, or you're done. The Trojan horse nails this. The Greeks faked a retreat, left a gift, and the Trojans hauled their doom inside their own walls. Here's how this plays out now. In business, don't chase decoys like price wars. Tesla dodged that, focusing on electric vehicles while others brawled over gas cars. By owning a niche with huge potential, they built a powerhouse without slugging it out in Detroit's arena. Diplomacy trips on misreading too. In Vietnam, the US underestimated the North's grit and tricks. The 1968 Tet Offensive, a shock attack, didn't win militarily but flipped US public support, dragging out the war. Geopolitics punishes bad reads hardest. The 2003 Iraq invasion hinged on shaky intel about weapons of mass destruction. That misstep sparked a decade-long quagmire showing how falling for the wrong bait can cost you dearly.
What's the takeaway from Chapter 7? 1. Twist detours into wins with smart moves. 2. Don't overstretch, preserve your strength. 3. Hit fast when it counts. 4. Sidestep traps that lure you in. These aren't just war stories. They're blueprints for crushing it in business, diplomacy, and geopolitics. But here's the catch. You've got to adapt them to your turf. Sun Tzu's wisdom is timeless, guiding CEOs, negotiators, and policymakers alike. Misapply it, though, and you're as sunk as if you ignored it. So grab these tactics, tweak them to your world, and outmaneuver whatever's in your way. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if this sparked something. Share it with your crew and subscribe for more strategy breakdowns. Drop a comment. How will you use these lessons? Catch you next time.